The title comes from a Philip Roth novel called American Pastoral, and there's a line in there that says what would be the opposite of the American Pastoral, and it's the indigenous American Berserk. That term, the American Berserk, I thought was like a really elegant, interesting way to talk about these undercurrents in the American dream. I wasn't thinking of the title when I made the work, but I was kind of thinking of almost like this little bit of like mania that's like running under themes. So everything's getting a little like comical and manic. Mm-hmm. But when I see, like I feel like there's a lot of humor in the work, but I feel like pretty humorless right now.
The intersection between violence and humor in your work, like especially in those watermelon ceramics, is so undermining of a kind of power, you know, mm-hmm. like how humor plays into that.
Yeah, it's like a subversive.
It's really subversive
stance.
Yeah.
Like I want to laugh at everything that's going on, but it's so scary at the same time. I guess I'll just say quickly, like in terms of how the show came together. I did a residency at MacDowell, not this summer, but last summer, and I've been wanting to shift my work for a while, and so I started doing these watercolors. What I wanted to do was I was like, I'm going to make big oil paintings, like I'm going to be an oil painter now, and I started making these watercolors, thinking they'd be sketches for bigger paintings, and I'd make a couple a day, and just working through the ideas, different ideas, and thinking about still life, and then also things that are happening with the environment, with climate change, and those were kind of spurning some of these pieces. Like some of them I would drain the color of the fruit and just highlight the blacks to try to make it seem more ghostly. I was thinking about how we ripen fruit with ethylene gases now, so I was picturing like bowls of fruit surrounded by clouds, like puffs of gases, so that's why some of them look like puffs. But that also serves to erase the actual fruit, like nothing is really what it seems to be anymore. It started with the top two, which is kind of looking more closely with reference and trying to push up the vanita aspect, and using the watercolor so it starts to look moldy, a little more gothic, and then started moving down, thinking about still life's relationship to the body. So some of them are turning into body parts like the ribs. This is like a skeleton of a basket of fruit. I was thinking about some of my other ideas from the past, like thinking about clipper ships, like this is a clipper ship as a skeleton, thinking about colonialism and expansionism, and clipper ships being used for all sorts of trade, from, I don't know, tea to opium to slaves, kind of this haunted history. I was thinking like with these where the colors drained out of the fruit, like that expression when you see a ghost, the color runs from your face. Uh-huh. So almost like a haunting. And then I was thinking about with some of these floral ones turning into skeletons, almost like nature taking on a more violent aspect, like if plants started eating other plants, or things started growing almost like zombies, like fractals of bones. Barry thinks this is Donald Trump. But thinking about these thinking about Archibaldo and almost like these manic faces, like how we manipulate food, but then we also manipulate our moods too. So it's like everything's like super bright, super happy, but everything's going a little crazy. I'm pointing out some of these because all the ceramic work comes out of the watercolors. I was thinking about how nationalism is embedded in landscape painting, and I've done a lot of work in the past talking about that. So this is George Washington as if he's like a shrub or a topiary. Mm-hmm. So this is and then this is the ghost of history. Like I was looking out on the New Hampshire woods, and the groundskeeper had told me there were all these Native American ghosts because he knew I was freaked out by ghosts, so he'd tell me all these ghost stories. And I was just like kind of imagining seeing like the ghosts like going through the woods. I guess it's like a nationalistic image of George Washington on the horse kind of fading in and out.